So questions, questions, questions. We all have questions and we all speak. However, how do you comment on how somebody has spoken? Today we're going to be looking at reported speech and reported questions, or in other words, writing and speaking about what somebody has already asked and what somebody has already said. So reported speech then to start with. Reported speech itself is rather quite simple. We use it when we want to tell something what somebody has said. We generally do not use the person's exact words. Reported speech is different to direct speech. Direct speech is what I'm doing now, okay, is where I'm speaking directly to somebody. Whereas reported speech is where you're talking about what somebody has already said. So for example, if you are speaking to your friend, okay, and you are telling them what I have said in this presentation, that would be an example of reported speech. To go from direct speech to reported speech, we simply need to So how do those tenses work? Well, with direct speech, we always use present simple, present continuous, past simple, past continuous, present perfect, past perfect, okay? In reported speech, we use past simple, past continuous, past simple, past perfect continuous, past perfect, and past perfect. So, present simple becomes past simple, present continuous becomes past continuous, past simple becomes past simple, past perfect, past continuous becomes past perfect continuous, present perfect becomes past perfect, and past perfect becomes past perfect. If you're unsure what those are, please have a look at my other videos where I go into a little bit more detail as to what a variety of those tenses actually mean. So naturally, if a tense changes, our verb forms also have to change. Okay, so again, we'll have a look at direct speech first. If we're using will, shall, can, must, could, should, would, and might, those would change across if we're speaking in reported speech to would, could, must, or had to, could, should, would, and might. So there's not really a lot of change there. The ones that do change and the ones that you need to be careful of is will and shall changing to would, can changing to could, and must changing to must, or had to, depending on the situation and the context. So just some examples for you. If I said I'm going to the shops and somebody wanted to report what I'd said, okay, they could say he said he was going to the shops. Alternatively, they can report on the verb. For example, he said I'm going to the shops, okay. The reported verb would be went, so we would write he went to the shops. There are a variety of different ways that we can change that around depending on how we want to say it, depending on what meaning we want to convey, depending on what word we want to emphasize. So now a short task for you. I would like you to spend the next 5 or so minutes rewriting the following as reported speech. And again, some more examples for you guys to do at home for the next 5 or so minutes. And finally, just a few more just to ensure that we understand this principle of reported speech, because it's such a vital thing. Whenever you're writing a story, or whenever you're writing an article or a newspaper report, for example, these are all examples of when we would use reported speech. And so it's absolutely crucial to get this right. And so we've just had a look at reported speech. Now we'll move on to reported questions. Reported questions are also reasonably simple, okay? We use them to report or tell something that someone has asked. We use direct or indirect speech to do this. In English, there are generally two types of question: a WH question and a yes/no question. Okay, so WH questions. Well, how many of them are there, first of all? In English, we have 5 WH questions. So we've got who, what, when, where, and why. Okay. Who are you? What are you doing? When did you visit London? Where is Edinburgh? Why did you visit London? Okay. All of these questions would generally require a structured answer. So who are you? Okay. You would turn around and say, I am Johnny, or I am Laura, for example. What are you doing? You would turn around and say, I am doing my homework. So there you have used the verb from the question. When did you visit to London? Sorry, when did you visit London? I visited London 6 years ago. Okay, again using the verb in that question, from the question. Where did you go? I went. So we've changed the go to went using its irregular past form. Okay, so I went to London. Why did you visit London? I visited London because I wanted to. And remember that why and because often go together. Okay, why, and then because gives you the reason. So why is asking for the reason, because gives you that reason. The other type of question that we have in English is a yes/no question. These questions can be answered with a yes or no. However, it's generally considered to be more polite if you use the question in your response. For example, if I asked you, do you live in Spain? Simply, yeah, you could say yes. If you live in Spain, you could say yes. But it would be better for you to say, yes, I do live in Spain. Or, no, I don't live in Spain. Do you drive a car? Yes, I do drive a car. Do you play football? No, I don't play football. Okay, just to use some of that question to formulate your response with a yes/no, because it just keeps a more polite tone to the conversation, and it makes you sound that little bit more native. Okay, most native people would generally speak with a longer answer than yes or no. So if we want to write a WH question as a reported question, we do the following. So a direct speech would be, what are you doing? Where are you going? Why are you late? Indirect speech, she asked us what we were doing. He asked me where I was going. They asked me why I was late. So what are you doing? She asked us what we were doing. Why are you going? He asked me to go. Sorry, he asked me where I was going. Why are you late? They asked me why I was late. If we want to write a yes/no question as a reported question, we do the following. So the direct speech examples would be, do you want a drink? Are you hungry? Do you think it's hot? Indirect speech examples, she asked me if I wanted a drink. He asked me if I was hungry. They asked me if I thought it was hot. So, do you want a drink? She asked me if I wanted a drink. Are you hungry? He asked me if I was hungry. Do you think it's hot? They asked me if I thought it was hot. And now some work for you guys, okay? Spend the next 5 minutes just changing these examples across from direct speech to indirect speech, okay? Once again, thank you for participating in this presentation today. If you've got any questions, if you've got any comments, post them down below in the comments section. It's always a pleasure to spend some time with you. Thank you and have a wonderful day.